Nick Fuentes. Man, how do we describe Nicky Fuentes? Nick Fuentes, I would say, is, maybe a poet, a thinker, certainly a talker. He is a center-right media personality. Okay, so Nick Fuentes is an American white nationalist who is most known for having very verbose speeches about any number of important topics, as well from, of course, a long list of important social issues, including how many Jews are at big media companies and how many different ways you can insult women. Point is, though, he is a big right-wing media personality who has had, Congress people like Marjorie Taylor Greene speak at their conferences. They've been living on the fringes of both the established political right, because, Marjorie Taylor Greene is certainly not, as you would say, mainstream, as in a mainstream Republican, and the online political right, mostly within what is known as, like, the Groypers. You could see them because they have a bunch of, like, fat frog avatars, and that represents them. I don't really know where that Groyper symbol originally came up from, but it's like a fat Pepe. And they gallivant across the internet, letting black people and Jews and all the others know of their valuable insights into how they shouldn't be here. Anyway, Nick Fuentes was spending the election against Trump, but then Trump won, and then he was on Team Trump again. He was also the campaign manager for Kanye West's presidential campaign when he was endorsing Hitler. Anyway, Nick Fuentes made a speech or a statement not that long ago. It was right after the election, after Trump won. And he was saying this line, your body, my choice, over and over and over again. I don't know if anybody has the clip, if we're going to look this up, but he was saying over and over and over and over again, your body, my choice, in reference to the fact that Donald Trump won while the Democrats were campaigning on a filibuster exemption to reintroduce Roe versus Wade on the federal level, which would have brought abortion access back to many states across the country, where it is no longer protected by the Constitution.
One has donated $5.55.
Where was I? Oh, yes. Nick Fuentes, but thank you for the $5. Nick Fuentes made this speech about your body, my choice. I don't know if anybody's posted it in the replies or anybody's, I don't know if we really need to play it. You know what? Let's play it quickly, because I feel like there should be context. There should be context. Anyway, he yelled it over and over and over again. He tweeted it out. He kept throwing it out. Oh, here it is.
Feel when we control your bodies. Hey, bitch, we control your bodies. Guess what? Guys win again, okay? Men win again. And yes, we control your bodies. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman. It's your body, my choice. And men, women again. Men win again. There will never, ever be a female president. Never. There will never be a female president, ever. It's over. Glass ceiling. Dude, it's a ceiling made of fucking bricks. You will never break it. Your stupid face keeps hitting the brick ceiling. We will keep you down forever. You will never control your own bodies. You will never be the president of the...
Anyway, you get the idea. Provocative. He was mocking that, like, I'm your Republican congressman ads about what the outcome of the election could mean for contraceptive issues, for reproductive health issues. Point is, screw you. We've won, quote unquote, on the reproductive health care issue. We will be able to regulate abortion, which, he believes is murder. So him being this callous, even though he's callous about every issue, perfectly fine in his worldview. Perfectly fine. Okay, so he throws this message out into the world, and the world did not take it well. While his viewers thought it was hilarious, and, the Groypers were like, ah, ha, ha. The people outside that bubble looked at this and they didn't take it well. And when I say people, I mean basically everyone. Outside of the very small far right center of the internet, which looks at this with glee. Of course, the left didn't like it, the center left didn't like it, the centrist didn't like it, and even the center right didn't like it. I would even go as far to say I saw people on the right kind of like, not taking it well. Because it was more about, from the way that he sold it, about the ownership over women's bodies more than we want to protect the lives of the unborn. Because he was leaning into it, and he was leaning into it hard. Borgfella, thank you so much for the primer. Slava Ukraini, Hiram Slava, thank you so much for the 5 months and continued support. Borgfella's always promoting my stuff on social media, and I notice it. I notice a warrior in the trenches when there is one. I appreciate that. So, he goes out there, makes this crazy statement. He gets a positive reception in his own community, a very negative reception on TikTok, on Twitter, and all these places that the clip got posted and then reposted. And a lot of this wasn't his original tweet because he doubled down on this on social media immediately after. But it was other people clipping it and then shipping it around that got the vast majority of the hate that built around it. And eventually, somebody didn't like it enough that they decided to go to Nick Fuentes' home and knock on the door because his address was posted publicly. Now, I'm not going to post Nick Fuentes' address, which could be looked up very easily on the internet. So, I mean, that's up to you, I guess. I'm not going to do it because, number one, on principle, I try not to repost doxings, even for the worst of people, even for the worst. But also, like, there's a rule on these platforms about this type of stuff. But it was online, someone found it, and someone went to go knock on his door, and this is what they found on the other side of that. Now, this woman who went to knock on Nick Fuentes' door, knocked, and then was pepper sprayed. And then after getting pepper sprayed, she was then kicked down the stairs where she tumbled, and then, according to her, huddled in the fetal position, waiting to be kicked and such, which never came. The police eventually did come, but, you know, it's probably better to just read you the testimony. Now, mind you, this is testimony from the other end of this, so maybe Nick's going to come out and said, that woman tried to karate chop me, or she's going to come out with something different. But here is what they had to post. So this is what I did. I shot a short video, less than 2 minutes, from the public property of the sidewalk outside the address, noting there were no boxes. As I did, a woman pulled up in her car, rolled down the window, and was like, "Is this where the douchebag lives?" Paraphrasing. And I was like, "I think so." And we laughed about his incel ass for a minute. It's kind of reading a little bit like, and then they clapped. But, you know, I mean, if the address was just posted, you know, some people might, not as bold, would just drive by or something like that. Then she was like, "You should ring his doorbell and see what he has to say for himself." Again, paraphrasing. And I have one serious weakness. It's chocolate. Okay, I have two. One more relevant for the situation. Are they... Lol, so random in this post. Lol. Lol, so random. So random. Okay, I have two. One more relevant for the situation. I cannot back down from anything that even smacks of a dare. So I figured, shrug, there were no solicitor signs up, and believe it or not, I would have respected that. So I rang the doorbell. He immediately swung the door open like he was at damn Waco, sprayed me with a burning liquid, pepper spray ? Mace. So they don't say if it was pepper spray or mace. I just said pepper spray because I don't know what a burning liquid, you know, being sprayed. Like, there's only so many options. I mean, it could be bear mace, but I doubt it. But who knows? And pushed me down the stairs onto his sidewalk. I rolled into a protective position because I was anticipating kicks or stomps. He grabbed my phone, ran back inside, bolted the door, and shut the blinds. Friends, it is dark in there, like a bunker. I have the video. I am holding on to that for evidence. The woman in the car, probably feeling shitty for encouraging me to do it, called the cops and made a report. She begged me to get in the car with her because she was scared for my safety, but I wasn't going anywhere. Thanks, mysterious friend, for calling the cops, because I obviously did not have my phone. So that's the story. Here's a picture of Nick at a place, which is presumably his home. I can see there's an autism thing on the back of this, so I assume this is his vehicle. Then there's him, and then, of course, the door open. So, what we have here is just one side of the story. We don't have Nick's side. Now, how much credibility do you want to put in Nick's words? I don't know. But here's one red flag that I'm going to put out there. Red flag that I got to put out there before we go any further. If you have the video, just post the video. Why would you keep the video, not post it, post screenshots or pictures of Nick from these other angles and other shots, but then not post the video? Like, is there some well, if we post it for legal reasons, this legal reason, that, why wouldn't it be admissible in court if people saw it? You know, all that stuff in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, all that, you know, all the debating and stuff they had over the footage and whether he turned around and shot the guy for defense. All of that was based off of largely publicly available videos that had been recorded or live streamed from other locations and caught him running from people or from other angles. You could 100% post a video and then you could still use it in court. And so saying that I'm keeping the video, but I might for evidence for who?
Hi. Oh my God! What are you doing?
Get the fuck out of here.
You could post a video and then still submit it to court. I don't understand what the problem would be. So I don't really get that. I don't really get that at all. So that's the first red flag I'm going to throw out there. I'll also throw out there that if you look here, that looks like a Ring doorbell, or it looks like some sort of a doorbell that might have a camera on it. It's hard to tell. It's kind of blurry. It might have a camera, but if he has a doorbell with a camera on it, something Nick could do here is release the footage from that doorbell camera if this woman is not willing to show another side of the story that might not be presented here. Okay, now that I've got the red flag out of the way, okay, let's run through what we think we know. Okay, what we think we know is that this woman, after finding out where Nick Fuentes lives, after his post, went to his home, shot a 2-minute video on his property, not on his property, but around his property, talking about it. And then, after being egged on, or it doesn't really matter if she was or wasn't, she walks up to the door, knocks, rings, does one of the two, doesn't really matter which. Nick then swings open the door, pepper sprays, kicks her down. She falls down the stairs, fetal position, goes from there. There's no scenario I can run through in my mind of things she could have done. She could have maybe been out there on the sidewalk saying, this is where Nick Fuentes lives, and I hate Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes sucks. Nick Fuentes is awful. Come harass him. And it still wouldn't be covered for pepper spraying her for knocking on your door and kicking her down the stairs. I mean, he could have just not opened the door. He could have opened the door and said, leave, this is my home. Why are you here? I don't go to your home. And then slammed it. Could have opened it and then called her any number of mean names that he says on the show every night and then shut the door. But instead, he went for the pepper spraying and kicking down the stairs. I can't think of under any framework where this could be legal unless there's something that was not talked about in this post and is going to be posted video-wise later, or will be provided to a court with evidence later, showing that, she did something undue, like she tried to stab him, she tried to lunge at him, that she did something that would elicit this type of a response legally. But if that's not the case, yeah, there's 100% assault. There's 100% illegal. You would at least need to inform him to leave your property. If this is the case that you could do this, then that means Jehovah's Witnesses, somebody coming by to deliver a gift basket, like all of this is fair game. Now, if you're Nick Fuentes and you're looking out the window and you see somebody out there skipping around recording TikToks, you probably have gotten the impression that they're here to publicize your home to the wider public and not say nice things about you. So this is a little different than a gift basket. It's a little different than the Jehovah's Witness. But at the end of the day, just because they're recording stuff on the public sidewalk, unless it was on his property, but as right now we're just saying, on the public sidewalk, you can't assault them. You can't hurt them. You can't attack them for that. For coming up to you after that and knocking on your door, you have to inform them that they have to leave. You either call the police to remove them, keep the door closed, or inform them that they have to leave if you want to stay within the bounds of the law. Now, putting aside the bounds of the law for a moment and saying that this is clearly illegal, let's talk about the morality for a moment. Because I don't like Nick Fuentes. I don't like what he stands for. I don't like his politics. I don't like his domestic politics. I don't like his foreign politics. I don't like really anything much about him at all. But thinking about this from my perspective, let's say that I was home one day and there was somebody out in front of my home and they were doing a little skip and a dance, and to me, likely I was thinking they were recording to publicize my home if I had any reason to believe that. And then they come up to knock on my door. Would I be so critical of myself if I reacted the way Nick Fuentes does? Probably not. But that's number one, because I'm me and not Nick Fuentes, and I'm biased towards myself as everyone is. But I would also still say, even in a situation like that, where I still think I should get repercussions if I react that way, there should be at least some amount of get off my property. It's not that I don't believe people should be able to use physical force to defend their home or to deal with people harassing them. It's that you at least need to give them a warning. It's kind of hard for you to beat up a stalker if you never told the stalker to leave. It's telling the stalker to leave and then he doesn't leave kind of factor that makes up the stalking usually. Unless they were doing it all without your knowledge and consent the whole time. You just don't know about it. So for my mind, it's like, even if I was to try to find a way to justify this, if I was in his shoes, well, I wouldn't be saying your body, my choice. But let's say that I was in his shoes, then I could at least understand where his anger would come from, how he could build up his emotions to react that way. But the pepper spraying and the kicking of somebody, if all they've done is knock on your door and ring your doorbell, seems completely unnecessary. Hell, you could probably just threaten to pepper spray them and that would be it. And that would be all you need to do. Like, leave or I will pepper spray you. This is my home. I saw you recording. I don't want people coming to my house to hurt me. Leave. Maybe they'll record that, but then you got no charges and you've made your position known. Point is, all he had to do was warn them to leave. All he had to do was have some basic human interaction with the people on his porch. But that was not, seemingly, from what we know now, managed. And so now, who knows if he faces charges or not? It all depends on this secret evidence video, which I'm still completely suspect about as to why that hasn't been posted. But my big advice would be, if somebody's coming to your home to harass you, to stalk you, to do whatever, first, find out why they're there before you take any violent action against them. It's probably not a good thing to be visiting content creators at their homes. But also, just to throw this out there, Ben Shapiro did kind of Nick Fuentes did kind of harass Ben Shapiro with his family and kids while they were walking around the DC area. This is a little different, him being his home and whatever. But, your private time is their private time. Your private time is their private time. Anyway, really goofy reaction from Nick. Really goofy idea to go confront him at his house. Just an all-around goofy and ridiculous situation altogether. What a picture this is. Not the most flattering angle. Trump picked a national security advisor, and I think it's Mike Waltz. Really? How do you know this? How do you know this?